Unseen Philippines, amazing places beyond the myths. A 1,000-hectare island closed for 6 months because tourism had outgrown its sewers. That failure explains why famous Philippine destinations now enforce limits promotional images rarely show. Across more than 7,000 islands, one label can fail within a single sea crossing. A calm coast may face a monsoon closure. A famous volcano may sit under a fresh alert. A forest, reef, or village may require permission that older guides never mention. I want to challenge both extremes, the postcard that hides pressure and the warning that treats a vast country as one risk zone. In this video, we explore how current facts, local rules, and physical geography reveal a Philippines far more varied than its myths. One seamless Palawan escape is really a chain of road, ferry, and air transfers controlled by weather, permits, and ancestral boundaries. From Puerto Princesa to El Nido and the Camiguin Islands, each leg is separate and vulnerable to sea conditions. Near Puerto Princesa, an underground river runs more than 8 kilometers through limestone before reaching the sea. Boats enter only an authorized section. Large chambers, mineral formations, swiftlets, and roosting bats lie beyond the cave mouth, but access is governed by permits, sea conditions, and park carrying limits. Farther north, El Nido faces Bacuit Bay, where limestone islands enclose lagoons and narrow tidal entrances. Standard routes distribute boats among designated sites. Wind, waves, crowding, or conservation closures can rewrite those routes. The itinerary is never stronger than the water or a local order. Nearby, Illa Cave holds evidence of human activity from about 11,000 years ago, near the end of the last ice age. The repeated claim of 22,000 years is not supported here. Coron Town stands on Busuanga Island. Camiguin Lake, Barracuda Lake, and several coves sit on neighboring Coron Island within Banaue ancestral domain. Fees, restricted areas, and community rules express Banaue custodianship over the places visitors enter. Even Cayangan's label as Asia's cleanest lake lacks a standardized scientific basis. Barracuda Lake layers fresh water above salt water. Crossing its halocline and thermocline can raise a diver's surroundings from about 31 to 38 degrees Celsius. Offshore, Japanese shipwrecks from a September 1944 naval action now support marine life. Depth, enclosed spaces, sharp metal, and poor visibility make penetration a trained technical activity, not ordinary snorkeling. Admiration alone does not make travel responsible. Permits, weather, transfers, ancestral authority, and physical limits decide where access stops. A surf town on Luzon's Pacific edge carries two histories, one written into law, another repeated as cinema lore. Philippine law recognizes Balor's surfing history, but it does not confirm the familiar Apocalypse Now origin story. At Sabang Beach, black sand meets a powerful Pacific swell. Behind it, the Sierra Madre catches rain, feeds rivers, and can change road, trail, and sea conditions fast. That geography matters more than any fixed label of safe or unsafe. Pagasa forecasts and local advisories describe current conditions. Inherited fear does not. Inland, Aurora Memorial Park protects about 5,700 hectares of mountain forest under boundaries built through successive national park declarations. Those legal boundaries turn a green interior into governed land, not an open playground. Local guides and protected area rules reduce pressure on the forest while keeping changing routes legible. Baylor Church carries another hard record. The long standoff of 1898 to 1899, later recognized through National Historical Landmark status. Ermita Hill holds the memory of people who escaped the destructive storm of 1735. That history makes today's weather checks part of a much longer coastal discipline. Farther inland, Ditumabo Falls corrects another lazy shortcut. It lies in San Luis, not Baler, and its stream-crossing trail can shift from passable to risky as rain builds upstream. Aurora is also the homeland of living Alta and Dumagat communities. Responsible filming requires consent, clear credit, and respect for people whose culture cannot be reduced to background color. Aurora cannot be flattened into surf myth or warning label. Pacific weather, local law, and living communities set the terms of access. Sagada is famous for ancestral resting places fixed to cliffs, yet the stronger force here works underground, water cutting through limestone. The same water that feeds narrow agricultural valleys also shapes Camiguin and Lumiang into polished rock, deep pools and confined passages. High in mountain province, pine ridges and karst terrain compress movement into narrow routes. Weather can change those routes from accessible to unsafe, with little room for error. That physical limit explains why cave entry is not casual recreation. Local guides and weather checks are essential where slick stone, pools, and tight chambers control every step. Above ground, another limit is less visible. Paths to valleys and waterfalls cross farms and community-managed land, not public ground. Temporary closures may protect crops, local ceremonies, or public safety. Honoring them does not diminish Sagada. It recognizes who carries responsibility for the land. The Aplai, or Northern Kankanaye, community gives this landscape its living context. Its cliffside and cave resting places belong to particular families and beliefs. These sites are often reduced to sensational labels, then treated as props. Distance protects sacred ground from handling, climbing, and the pressure of constant photography. I think this breaks the old image of an isolated mountain town. Sagada is not preserved outside modern life. It manages modern demand every day. Tourism pays guides, guest houses, and small businesses. It also adds waste, traffic, water demand, and trail wear, so arrivals constrain the place that supports them. The Municipal Tourism Office is part of the route, not paperwork around it. Registration, accredited guides, and closure notices protect visitors, sacred sites, and fragile formations. In Sagada, the boundary is the story. Forest, stone, water, and community remain connected because local authority still decides when access stops. Samar carries two transport worlds, a road hung over the sea and river routes driven through limestone. The San Juanico Bridge runs more than 2 kilometers toward Leyte, while inland water has spent immense spans of time opening caverns, sinkholes, and natural arches. That underground geography begins with pressure from above. Heavy rainfall soaks the broad forest interior, enters cracks in soluble rock, and slowly enlarges them into passages. At Batanes, the Sohoton River leads beneath a forested limestone arch and into parts of the cave network. This is Sohoton Caves and Natural Bridge Park, not Sohoton Cove in Surigao del Norte. Shared names can flatten an archipelago, so can resort imagery. Samar answers both with terrain that sets its own terms. Boat access changes with river level, rain, and local restrictions. Tropical water can close a clear plan quickly, making current guidance more useful than inherited reputation. Farther inland, Langoon Gobingob belongs to the vast Calbiga cave system. The Philippines' UNESCO submission describes Calbiga as the country's largest cave. This is no casual show cave. Enormous chambers, underground streams, stalactites and stalagmites demand local guides, proper equipment, and close attention to flood risk. Here, responsibility is physical. It means respecting a guide's judgment, carrying the right gear, and accepting that weather, not ambition, controls entry. Above ground, San Juanico imposes another kind of order. It remained the country's longest bridge until the nearly 9-kilometer Cebu-Cordova Link Expressway opened in 2022. Yet the title matters less than the daily work. The bridge binds Samar and Leyte across a narrow strait where exposed traffic still answers to tropical weather. Reducing Samar to danger or escape misses the evidence. Water, local controls, and hard geography provide the fairer judgment. More than 1,000 hills rise from central Bohol, yet their famous chocolate color is only seasonal. The wider formation contains more than 1,200 limestone mounds. Dry season grass turns them brown, while wetter months return them to green. Their scale began below an ancient sea. Reef limestone rose, then groundwater and erosion worked the rock into the packed field of hills seen today. This geology demands restraint as well as awe. Designated viewpoints reveal the formation without treating every mound as open ground for climbing. Bohol's smallest emblem carries another warning. The Philippine tarsier is nocturnal, and handling, flash photography, noise, or daytime disturbance can place it under severe stress. Credible viewing sites keep people quiet and separated from the animals. The rule is not an inconvenience. Distance is the protection that makes viewing possible. Along the Lobok River, cruises and live local music move through a working riverside landscape. The communities along its banks are not stage scenery. The earthquake of 2013 exposed a different pressure. Roads, homes, and historic churches were damaged, and continuing restoration shows that old masonry remains vulnerable. Panglao concentrates the coastal bargain. Alona Beach opens access to swimming, snorkeling, and diving, while early boats may encounter wild dolphins, but no sighting is guaranteed. The same traffic that depends on clear water can weaken it. Anchoring, wastewater, reef traffic, and coastal development place pressure on the shoreline hidden beneath the clear surface. Inland corrections matter too. Bohol Bee Farm serves garden vegetables, edible flowers, and produce from local growers. Its current organic certification is not documented. The Bilar man-made forest covers roughly 2 kilometers of road. Its planted mahogany canopy leaves a more specific lesson. A landscape can look timeless while still being managed and made. Caramoan's postcard shoreline is only the edge of a working peninsula and of a biodiversity area more than 50 times larger than its national park. Caramoan National Park covers about 350 hectares. The recognized key biodiversity area spreads across nearly 190 square kilometers. The distinction matters. The national park, the biodiversity area, and the island hopping destination are related, but their boundaries differ. The park dates to 1938. Caramoan rises from mangroves and sand dunes to forested hills above 1,000 meters. Beneath them, limestone, sandstone, marble, and shale fracture into caves, gorges, an islet lake, and a subterranean river. The terrain resists easy access. It also helped preserve pockets of forest when older assessments recorded selective logging, forest clearing for crops, and household fuel wood collection. Roads and boats have improved access, but the sea still controls the final approach. Wind, tides, and tropical weather can cancel crossings without negotiation. Nor is the peninsula an unused backdrop. Families farm its plains and coconut land, fish the surrounding water, maintain trails, and operate boats. Tourism shifts pressure toward beaches, reefs, and landing points, where many arrivals compress into small spaces. Waste, anchors, and careless access can burden habitat faster than the wide horizon suggests. Calling Caramoan untouched paradise or difficult frontier erases the same evidence. People work inside the landscape, and local rules keep access possible. Responsible travel is practical here. Local guides, authorized boats, flexible timing, and every piece of waste carried out. These choices protect livelihoods as well as shorelines. The Pale Islands are only Caramoan's outer edge. Behind them, weather, work, and conservation determine how much the inhabited peninsula can bear. A colonial street survives here not because time stopped, but because a living city keeps rebuilding it. The Spanish town was established in 1572 and entered UNESCO's World Heritage List in 1999, yet its fabric carries Filipino, Chinese, Mexican, and European influence. Near the Abra River system, merchants linked inland produce to coastal trade. Chinese Filipino families became central to the commercial town growing along those routes. Calle Crisologo supplies the famous image, cobbles, terraces, and ancestral houses. But reducing Vigan to that single street erases the labor that made it. The Bahay na Bato is practical engineering. Masonry braces the lower floor. Lighter timber rises above, while broad windows and courtyards answer heat, rain, earthquakes, storage, and trade. These buildings held shops, goods, and family rooms under one roof. Their mixed design records commerce more clearly than any simple label of Spanish town. The protected core is still inhabited, not sealed as a film set. Rules control repairs, materials, height, and new construction because one careless alteration can weaken an entire streetscape. Preservation also works beyond the facades. Potters shape Bernet jars, weavers hold looms under tension, and market, kitchen, and carriage workers keep old skills economically useful. The Bantay Bell Tower has watched the district since 1591. An earthquake in July 2022 damaged it, so interior entry still depends on restoration progress and current local restrictions. Preservation does not freeze Vigan in one approved image. Continuity depends on skilled hands repairing wood, masonry, roofs, wheels, and kilns. Responsible travel therefore begins with current access rules and respect for homes and workplaces. Vigan endures when modern use supports its mixed inheritance instead of flattening it. White sand sells one Leyte. History's largest naval battle defines another. From October 23 to 26, 1944, the Battle of Leyte Gulf severely reduced Japan's ability to conduct major fleet operations. 4 days earlier, General Douglas MacArthur had returned at Palo, now marked by MacArthur Landing Memorial Park. Yet local memory reaches beyond commanders to civilians, damaged communities, and families caught between armies. The eastern coast carries a second warning. In November 2013, Typhoon Haiyan drove a catastrophic storm surge into Palo and nearby Tacloban, exposing how directly this shore faces the Pacific. Geography explains why Leyte is a route, not one beach circuit. Two coasts sit on opposite sides of a mountainous interior, so distance, road condition, and weather shape every transfer. Near Ormoc, Lake Danao occupies a cooler forested upland basin. Kayaking and picnics are visible. The less obvious asset is water and vegetation tied to a wider watershed. Off Palumpon, Kalangaman's white sandbar changes under tides, waves, and seasonal weather. Shallow turquoise water hides practical limits, little natural shade, little fresh water, and departures controlled by permits and sea conditions. Farther south, Siquijor is one of the four Cuatro Islas, with Apid, Mahaba, and Himokilan. Its smaller, rustic scale depends on local boats and coastal communities rather than heavy resort machinery. Southern Leyte then replaces sand with concrete. The 89-meter Agas Bridge lifts the Pan-Philippine Highway above a steep gorge and a landslide-prone section of road. Its former zip line is not operating. The real achievement remains the bridge itself, safe movement through terrain that repeatedly presses against the highway. Leyte has no single operating condition. Exposed coast, protected upland, shifting sandbar, and mountain road each demand a separate decision. The route holds only when those differences are respected. These mountains hold rice fields where gravity is both the engine and the threat. At Batanes, roughly 1,100 meters above sea level, water drops from managed upland forests through channels feeding terraces wrapped around a settlement. UNESCO listed 5 Ifugao clusters in 1995. Batat and Bangan are the 2 within Banaue. The listing joins fields, villages, channels, and forests as one landscape. It was not built once and abandoned. Families and neighbors direct water, rebuild earthen and stone walls, and repeat the work through every planting cycle. The familiar claim that every terrace is 2,000 years old is too neat. The tradition is ancient, but individual fields developed and expanded at different times. This is not a monument maintained only for display. It remains an Ifugao agricultural and ritual landscape, with Tinawan rice harvested once yearly and hudhud narratives accompanying community life. Out-migration and weak farm income leave fewer hands for constant repair. Erosion, drought, and intense rain then strike slopes that must hold water without letting saturated soil give way. In November 2025, a landslide damaged part of Batanes and its irrigation. That impact exposed the landscape's weak point. One broken channel can disrupt fields below. Current conditions matter more than a fixed tourist image. Local guides can track changing access, while designated paths keep added pressure off narrow terrace walls. Respect also governs what is recorded and purchased. Permission before filming farmers or rituals protects community control. Local rice and crafts direct income toward those maintaining the fields. The legend is less impressive than the living achievement. Banaue and Batanes endure only while local authority, farm income, and disciplined repair keep water moving. A whale shark encounter becomes unusually predictable only because operators feed the animals. That trade-off shares Cebu with an active urban port and river routes that heavy rain can shut down. Cebu City grew through maritime trade, and its active port still drives the Queen City of the South. This is no resort outpost. Commerce is its core. Colon Street bears an official marker, calling it the nation's oldest. Local historians dispute whether surviving records prove that title, a warning against treating plaques as final. Magellan's Cross, and the Basilica Minore del Santo Niño connect the city to 1521 and the later spread of Spanish colonial Christianity. They mark a decisive turn, not the beginning of an empty history. South in Badian, Kawasan Falls turns geography into a hard operating limit. Canyoneering runs through moving water, rock channels, natural slides, and turquoise pools. Accredited guides are required. This is not a self-directed route. Heavy rain, sudden flooding, water releases, or local orders can stop operations. That limit is physical. Upstream water can transform the route faster than confidence can respond. Farther along the coast, Oslob offers unusually dependable whale shark sightings because operators provide food. The same practice that creates certainty also creates the controversy. Research has recorded changes in residency, diving behavior, and habitat use among provision sharks, while the IUCN lists the species as endangered. Accredited operators, required distances, no touching or pursuit, and strict photography rules are not minor formalities. They are the barrier between access and added pressure. Cebu's hardest question is not whether access exists, but what makes it acceptable. History needs context, canyons need closure discipline, and whale sharks need rules that limit the encounter. On Luzon's exposed northwest edge, unstable ground and hard wind have forced two answers: giant stone buttresses and a horizon of steel turbines. At Palawan, huge buttresses brace St. Augustine Church. Across Bangi Bay, turbines have generated power since 2005. The church stands among UNESCO's Baroque churches of the Philippines. Its huge lateral supports show how builders adapted a sanctuary to seismic ground. Near Laoag, the La Paz Dunes are often mistaken for an inland desert. They are a mobile coastal landscape, built and shifted by wind and sea. Cape Bojador Lighthouse and Palawan's white limestone share the same exposed weather, though built heritage and fragile rock demand different care. The famous turbine line is often folded into Pagudpud imagery, yet the wind farm stands in Bangi. This is industrial renewable energy, not a feature of Pagudpud's resort shoreline. Pagudpud has its own distinctions. South Beach and Blue Lagoon, also called Myra-Era Beach, are separate shores rather than interchangeable names. Beyond them, Patapat Viaduct bends the highway above the sea. It carries movement along a difficult edge, but parked vehicles can turn that engineering link into an obstruction. Nearby forests belong partly to the protected Calvario Patapat landscape. Conservation must govern tourism beyond the pavement. At Palawan, worship still takes precedence inside a landmark. At Palawan, staying off fragile rock formations protects what coastal weather has already worn down. Beach, waterfall, and road access can change during tropical storms. Current Pagasa, DPWH, and local advisories must overrule any fixed promotional itinerary. No single reputation explains this coast. Seismic stone, turbines, protected forest, worship, and weather each impose a different limit. A port famed for abundant seawater was placed under a state of calamity because freshwater ran short. In 2026, tourism remained open, but the shortage exposed the hard limit beneath Puerto Galera's resort image. The geography explains the contradiction. Sheltered coves meet the deeper Verde Island passage, while visitor demand and coastal building press the same reefs and water supplies. The protected story is also broader than diving. UNESCO recognized a biosphere reserve here in 1977, covering nearly 15,000 hectares from coral and mangroves to farms, dipterocarp forest and mossy uplands. That title is often misunderstood. It is not a World Heritage inscription, and it does not certify every habitat as secure. A biosphere reserve asks conservation and community life to occupy the same ground. That bargain becomes difficult when boats, buildings, and freshwater demand gather along a narrow coast. Protection, therefore, has to become physical, marked boundaries, managed access, and local work. In 2015, partners set aside about 5 hectares at Tabiné and Dulangan for mangrove and marine protection tied to community ecotourism. Mangrove roots hold nursery habitat in place, but regulation must control human pressure. In 2026, the municipality added an electronic visitor pass linked to its environmental fee. The pass turns arrival into a record and environmental use into a shared cost. The tension is the point. Puerto Galera is a living reserve carrying tourism, conservation, and daily water needs on the same limited coast. Responsible travel here means qualified operators, firm dive limits, restrained freshwater use, and Camiguin cultural contact only by invitation. Clear water attracts visitors. The shortage proved that the freshwater supply still has a hard limit. The Philippines' northern frontier is often sold as empty pasture, yet every stone roof here records a contest with wind. Batanes stands between the Philippine Sea and Luzon Strait, where 3 principal islands, Batan, Sabtang, and Itbayat, carry most communities. Around them, islets and water belong to a protected landscape and seascape declared in 1994. Protection here covers not only scenery, but the ground and water that sustain daily work. Ivatan houses turn exposure into engineering. Thick stone walls, lime mortar and steep kogon roofs break the force of wind and shed hard rain. Out in open fields, woven vakul and talugung shield farmers from the same pressure. These are working tools, not costumes frozen for display. I find the usual postcard reading too shallow. The grasslands are pasture and farmland. The houses require materials, skilled hands, and income to remain standing. Nature still controls the timetable. Typhoons can stop flights and sea crossings, while earthquakes add another strain that no itinerary can negotiate away. That makes delay part of responsible planning, not a service failure. Registered local operators, weather checks, and realistic schedules reduce pressure on limited island capacity and keep movement within local rules. The cliffs and rough water sharpen the same point. Closed waters stay closed. Cliff edges demand distance, and pasture, farmland, and sacred ground require permission before entry. Another correction matters. Batanes is often called a World Heritage Site, but it has remained on the Philippine tentative list since 1993. Photography carries weight in a small community. Permission before recording residents or homes, less plastic, and respect for private land keep tourism within local limits. Batanes is no empty escape. It is a lived northern frontier, held together each season by Ivatan engineering, patient delay, and local rules. The landscape sold as untouched is actually held together by farms, fishing, weaving, and strict limits. 3 lakes, forests, waterfalls, farms, and wetlands support Taboli and Ubo-Manobo communities in the South Cotabato Highlands. In July 2026, Lake Cebu became the Philippines' first FAO village, recognizing sustainable food systems and the conservation of 102 traditional rice varieties. It is an FAO recognition, not UNESCO World Heritage status. That distinction keeps the focus on working land, inherited knowledge, and the people maintaining both. This is not a sealed reserve frozen outside modern life. Cultivation, fishing, and tourism all draw value from the same water, so water quality and carrying capacity become practical limits. The broader watershed was reserved in 1985 to protect Allah Valley's water supply. What happens around these highland lakes therefore reaches beyond the shoreline. At Seven Falls, cascades cut through steep ravines while a zip line crosses the terrain. Claims that it is Asia's highest or longest should not replace measurements that have not been verified. Boats, trails, and the zip line operate only when weather and local managers allow. A listed activity is not a guaranteed one. Tinalak carries a different kind of weight. The hand-woven abaka cloth is living Taboli heritage, tied to named makers and community context rather than anonymous tribal display. Filming makers, chants, or ceremonies calls for permission and fair payment. Buying authentic work directly from cultural bearers keeps value closer to the knowledge that produced it. The same respect applies to wetlands and wildlife. No litter, no disturbance, no assumption that a dramatic view grants unrestricted access. I reject pristine labels and blanket fear. Lake Cebu is a working homeland where water, culture, and tourism depend on informed respect. A 4-kilometer beach attracted enough tourism pressure to trigger an island-wide closure. Boracay covers just over 1,000 hectares. In 2018, the government closed it to visitors for 6 months. The closure was not a verdict against tourism. It was a response to untreated wastewater, weak solid waste capacity, and construction that had pressed into wetlands. The island's geography leaves little room for error. Calm white beach, wind-exposed bullabog, drainage channels, and surviving wetlands all share one compressed body of land. Reopening brought sewer connections, accredited accommodation, and tighter beachfront rules. Together, they control the load beneath the beachfront, where every occupied room adds wastewater and solid waste. Rehabilitation, however, is not a finished rescue. Pipes must carry waste, drains must keep moving, easements must remain open, and visitor numbers must stay within the island's capacity. Seasonal green algae can occur naturally. Heavy growth can also expose the nutrients that poor wastewater control feeds into the sea. That distinction matters. Blaming nature hides the engineering failure. Blaming tourism alone ignores the standards that can restrain it. Boracay is also part of the Ati homeland. Their living culture and land rights began long before the resort economy, so responsible access must include respect for residents. Current entry procedures, accredited lodging, regulated water sport operators, and weather suspensions define the operating capacity of this crowded coast. The island is often reduced to either paradise or cautionary tale. I reject both shortcuts because neither explains the labor, pipes, rules, and protected ground that keep the coast functional. Boracay is the warning built into every earlier bargain. Tourism and nature can share a small island only when limits outrank resort promotion. The small volcanic island framed by Tagaytay is only the exposed center of a force that has reshaped an entire basin. Around it, a caldera roughly 15 by 20 kilometers wide holds a protected lake, island, and watershed covering more than 60,000 hectares. The ridge compresses all of that into one calm image. The truth is harder. Volcano Island is only the most visible part of a complex volcanic field. January 2020 broke that illusion within hours. Ash, gas, and evacuation orders displaced the stillness seen from above and pressed directly into daily life. As of August 2026, Alert Level 1 still meant low-level unrest, not inactivity. Entry to Volcano Island remained prohibited. That boundary is not an old restriction preserved after the eruption. It responds to a volcano still releasing pressure beneath an inhabited landscape. Yet the lake is not empty space around a hazard. Families work its permitted margins, drawing food and income from water inside the active caldera. The Tawilis makes that link unmistakable. It is the world's only freshwater sardine, and it remains part of local food traditions and fishing livelihoods. Its future now carries restrictions of its own. Overharvesting, damaging nets, and water pollution have forced an annual closed season. The closure protects more than today's catch. It also defends future income and a lake already carrying volcanic and human pressure. I reject readings that reduce Taal to either a postcard or a permanent red zone. Both labels erase communities adapting between those extremes. Responsible access therefore stays on authorized viewpoints and lake routes, checks volcanic bulletins, and respects fishing closures. Here, informed respect means accepting that beauty does not cancel pressure. From the ridge, the lake can still look calm. Up close, rules, livelihoods, and volcanic unrest occupy the same basin. The 100 Islands gain and lose an island with the tide. Official local counts record 124 islands at low tide, but only 123 when the sea covers the smallest formation. The shifting count exposes the limit of any fixed map. Lingayen Gulf sets the landing windows and the limits of every route. Across nearly 2,000 hectares, ancient coral limestone has been lifted and cut by rain and waves. Cliffs, caves, and undercut profiles are the result of that pressure. These islands look solid, but rain and waves still cut their edges. The same forces that shape them can shut access without warning. Protection began under President Manuel L. Quezon and later expanded to Lucap Bay. The reason was concrete. Construction and intensive use could damage the marine habitat. That protection now controls arrival. Lucap Wharf handles registration and authorized boats, while visitor facilities remain concentrated on only a handful of islands. An island visible from a boat is not automatically open for landing. Local rules decide where boats stop and where landings are allowed. Below the water, coral habitat and restored giant clams carry the park's deeper value. They also show how slowly damage can be reversed. A careless anchor, repeated trampling, litter, or crowded snorkeling can erase growth that took decades. The harm arrives quickly, recovery does not. The popular name suggests abundance, but it can hide the discipline required to protect it. Responsible travel here follows authorized operators, designated stops, weather closures, and conservation limits. Access changes because the Gulf changes and because protection must respond. The final count is not 123 or 124. It is limestone above water, living habitat below, and the rules keeping both intact. A waterfall nearly 100 meters high is also part of a machine that feeds Mindanao's electricity grid. Maria Cristina Falls drops 98 meters on the Agus River, splits into twin curtains around a huge boulder, and feeds the Agus 6 hydroelectric plant. That force contributes to Mindanao's electricity through the wider Agus Pulangi complex. Claims that one waterfall powers most of the island flatten a much larger generation network. Maria Cristina is working infrastructure, not an unrestricted viewpoint. Visits require advance arrangements with the Iligan City Tourism Office and depend on security and operating conditions. Iligan's waterfall identity begins in the uplands. Rivers lose height quickly toward Iligan Bay, turning steep geography into usable force. At Mimbalot, water spreads across a broad rock face through small cascades and shallow basins. Wading depends on current and weather. Standard pools sit in the adjacent eco-park. Tinago imposes a harder bargain. About 500 steps descend to a 73-meter fall and deep lagoon, then demand the same climb back. Swimming and guided raft rides may operate, but availability can change. Heavy rain strengthens currents, cuts visibility, and can close access across Iligan's falls. Responsible planning therefore means checking the city tourism office, current weather, and site rules before movement begins. Old assumptions about Mindanao are no substitute for current, local information. The same water serves recreation and the electricity grid, but each use demands limits. Without those limits, recreation collides with river force and operating infrastructure. Iligan's waterfalls are not scenery detached from the city. They are working water, governed by rainfall, plant operations, and the force of the Agus River. A province small enough to circle by road is built from forces too large to ignore. North of Mindanao, Camiguin packs 4 overlapping stratovolcanoes, plus domes and cones, into one compact island. Tourism accounts often call them 7 volcanoes. The harder truth is more useful. The terrain is layered, and active Mount Hibak is still monitored. Fivolks keeps watch over the mountain. The island is not a finished tropical backdrop, but inhabited ground under continuing pressure. The circumferential road ties coastal communities to farms, springs, waterfalls, and old settlement sites. Movement follows the coast because the interior rises hard and fast. At Katibawasan, water drops about 70 meters from forested ground. Around it, springs show rainfall moving through porous volcanic rock before returning to the surface. White Island looks permanent, yet tides and currents keep changing its shape and exposed area. It has no shade, and boats depend on wind and sea conditions. Responsible travel begins with access reports, local boat decisions, and protection from exposure. A famous image does not cancel weather or local control. At Bonbon, an offshore cross marks part of old Katarman's submerged coast. Subsidence during Mount Vulcan's 1871 eruption lowered the shoreline. Nearby church ruins preserve the same upheaval on land. Yet disruption did not end island life. Fruit growers, fishers, and tourism workers still build livelihoods within the same volcanic limits. October's Lanzones Festival celebrates the grape-like fruit with parades and street dancing on dates that change yearly. Beyond the festival, pastel buns filled with milk and egg yolk yema and local coffee keep that identity in daily life. Camiguin is neither a resort image nor a warning label. Its reality lies in monitored ground, changing seas, local rules, and livelihoods adapting within them. An island branded by magic was once said to glow for a far more physical reason. Tradition links its island of fire name to fireflies that made coastal trees appear to glow, long before folklore became a tourism label. That distinction matters. The island's mystic reputation grew from folk healing, herbal knowledge, prayer, and supernatural stories, not from one uniform practice called witchcraft. Some healers collect and prepare plants through inherited methods. Public healing events around Holy Week are cultural occasions rooted in community knowledge and belief, not evidence for paranormal claims. The old stereotype turns skilled traditions into a marketable scare. Residents' practices deserve their own terms, not the role outsiders assign them. Lazi makes that overlap visible. Folklore surrounds its old Leyte tree and spring-fed pool, yet claims that the tree is exactly 4 or 5 centuries old have not been scientifically established. Nearby, San Isidro Labrador Church and its large Spanish period convent carry another history. Colonial religion, local craftsmanship, and older beliefs occupy the same town. None alone defines it. The coastal road binds small towns to beaches, reefs, and the interior. That access makes Siquijor easier to cross, but it does not erase sharp local differences. At Camiguin Falls, water drops through 3 tiers of turquoise pools. Water levels, crowding, and operating rules decide what access is practical on any given day. Offshore, community-managed marine sanctuaries place limits around reefs that look deceptively robust. Clear water cannot shield coral from anchors, trampling, or careless snorkeling. On Siquijor, informed respect is concrete. Sanctuary rules protect reefs, cultural context protects healing traditions, and present conditions govern each site. That is stronger than any inherited label. A fair view of the Philippines does not mean a careless one. It means rejecting too easy distortions. The country as a uniform risk zone and the country as an endless resort. Both erase real conditions. Volcano alerts change. Monsoon sees close crossings. Trails, reefs, caves, and villages carry limits that protect people and land. I believe responsible travel begins with current information, local permission, and the discipline to turn back when conditions tighten. That approach does not weaken discovery. It makes discovery more honest. As roads, airports, resorts, and climate pressure reach farther into the archipelago, the stakes will grow. The image the world accepts will shape where money flows, which places are strained, and whose rules survive. Fairness here is practical power. If this fairer way of seeing places matters, continue with documentaries that test old labels against current facts, local rules, and the physical limits of each landscape before drawing conclusions.